In Moab, two widows, Ruth and Orpah, faced a choice. In Moab, two widows, Ruth and Orpah, faced a choice.
In the rugged lands of Moab, a story of grief, loyalty, and destiny unfolded. We often speak of Ruth, whose steadfast devotion illuminates the pages of Scripture. But there was another woman, a sister-in-law, who faced the exact same choice. Her name was Orpah. Orpah, like Ruth, was a Moabite woman. She had married the son of Naomi, an Israelite immigrant. But tragedy struck. Naomi lost her husband, and then, cruelly, both of her sons. Three widows, bound by shared sorrow, stood at a crossroads. Naomi, broken and bitter, urged her daughters-in-law to return to their own people, their own gods. The Bible, in the Book of Ruth, paints a poignant scene. Both Ruth and Orpah wept, unwilling to leave Naomi. They loved her. They were family. But Naomi pressed them, reminding them of the bleak future awaiting them if they followed her back to Bethlehem. No husbands, no lineage, no security. And here, their paths diverged. Ruth clung to Naomi, uttering those immortal words of loyalty and faith. But Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye and turned back. The Bible tells us little else. She returned to her people, to her gods. And there, her story, at least in the biblical text, ends. Or does it? For centuries, Jewish tradition, through the rich tapestry of stories known as the Midrash, sought to fill in the gaps of biblical narratives. These aren't literal historical accounts, but imaginative commentaries designed to teach profound moral and theological lessons. And the Midrash has a very different, far more unsettling story for Orpah. While Ruth walked towards her destiny as the great-grandmother of King David, the Midrash paints a starkly contrasting picture of Orpah's return to Moab. The rabbis observed that when Orpah finally separated from Naomi, she shed 4 tears. A seemingly small detail, but in rabbinic thought, every detail carries weight. These 4 tears, they taught, sealed a different kind of reward. The Midrash, specifically in Ruth Rabbah 2:20, suggests that the very night Orpah departed from Naomi, she went astray. It describes her descent into a life of moral compromise, going so far as to say she lay with 100 men and even a dog. This graphic imagery serves not as a literal accusation, but as a symbolic representation of profound spiritual and moral degradation. She turned her back on the path of holiness and embraced the base desires of the world. This act of turning back, of choosing worldly comfort and Moabite gods over the God of Israel, carried a heavy, generations-long consequence. For the rabbis, Orpah became the embodiment of those who reject the path of truth, and through her, a lineage of opposition to Israel would be birthed. The 4 tears Orpah shed at her parting from Naomi, tears of genuine sorrow, perhaps, but tears that ultimately led her away from the covenant, were, in the Midrashic view, rewarded by God. Not as a blessing, but as a consequence of her choices. From Orpah's line, the Midrash teaches, came 4 mighty sons. These were the champions of the Philistines, the archenemies of Israel. Their names echoed through later biblical narratives: Ishbi-benob, Saph, Lami, and most famously, Goliath. Yes, the very Goliath, the 9-foot giant of Gath, whose defiance terrorized the armies of Israel, was, according to this tradition, Orpah's descendant. Imagine the poetic irony. The woman who shed 4 tears became the mother of 4 giants, who would rise up to oppose the very nation her sister-in-law, Ruth, would help to establish. This isn't just a genealogical detail. It's a dramatic theological statement. The rabbis used this connection to underscore the profound ripple effects of our choices. Ruth's faithfulness, her embrace of the God of Israel, led to the birth of King David, the very embodiment of Israelite kingship and a type of the Messiah. Orpah's turning back, her embracing of Moabite ways, led to the birth of Goliath, the ultimate symbol of opposition and challenge to God's chosen people. 2 women, 2 choices, 2 starkly different legacies. Ruth, the loyal Moabite, became the ancestor of King David. Her story is one of redemption, faithfulness, and grace. She chose a future with Naomi, embracing a God she barely knew, and in doing so, became part of the lineage of the Messiah. Orpah, on the other hand, chose familiarity, comfort, and the security of her own people. Her story, as illuminated by the Midrash, became a cautionary tale. Her spiritual choices, symbolized by her moral degradation, led to a line of physical and spiritual giants who would later stand in direct opposition to God's plan. The clash between David and Goliath on the battlefield of Elah was, for the rabbis, more than just a battle between 2 individuals. It was the ultimate collision of these 2 contrasting lineages. It was Ruth's faith through David, meeting Orpah's worldliness through Goliath. This is the power of the Midrash. It takes a seemingly minor character and transforms her into a pivotal figure, demonstrating how even a seemingly small decision, a simple turning back, can reverberate across generations, shaping the very course of history. So, what does Orpah's forgotten and perhaps controversial story teach us today? It's a profound lesson about the weight of our choices. Every turning point in our lives, every fork in the road, carries immense spiritual significance. Like Orpah, we are constantly faced with a choice to turn back to what is comfortable, familiar, and worldly, or to press forward into the unknown with faith, even when the path is difficult and the future is uncertain. Orpah is a powerful reminder that our small decisions, our seemingly insignificant moments of turning away, can breed unintended consequences, not necessarily giant offspring, but patterns of opposition, spiritual blindness, or simply a legacy that fails to truly thrive. Let's meet in the comment section to analyze this part of the story on Orpah conceiving and giving birth to 4 giants, including the renowned Goliath of Gath. Before the time of Orpah, giants were recorded to be in the earth during the Noah's era. These giants were the Nephilims, sons of the fallen angels that slept with the daughters of men and brought forth giants in the earth. During Noah's era, the giants referred to in biblical texts are often associated with the Nephilim, described as the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men. According to the narrative, the presence of these beings contributed to widespread corruption and violence on the earth. This unrestrained wickedness was one of the main reasons for God's decision to destroy everything on earth with the Great Flood, except for Noah and those with him in the ark. God's act was seen as a necessary measure to cleanse the world of its moral decay and to start anew with Noah's family, who were deemed righteous. So how does this connect to the Orpah and the giants she gave birth to? To understand this connection, we need to delve into the ancient tales of the giants on Earth. During Noah's time, all the giants on the earth were wiped out by the Great Flood. However, their spirits did not depart from the earth. Due to their impure origins, being offspring of fallen angels and human women, they were neither accepted into heaven nor condemned to hell. Instead, they roamed the earth as demon spirits, seeking vessels to inhabit. The Midrash reports shed light on Orpah, who returned to Moab after leaving Naomi and Ruth. She immersed herself in a life of idolatry and immorality, leading to her encounter with over 100 men. Among these men were not just ordinary humans, but also the incarnate spirits of the fallen angels who mingled with women in the time of Noah. These demonic entities entered Orpah, leading to her conception of giants. It is a chilling tale of how the sins of the past continued to manifest in the present, with Orpah unwittingly becoming a vessel for the spirits of the giants. The repercussions of the forbidden unions between angels and humans echoed through generations, shaping the course of history in ways unimaginable. Orpah's story serves as a cautionary reminder of the consequences of straying from the divine path and the dangers of inviting malevolent forces into one's life. The legacy of the giants lives on, a haunting reminder of the intermingling of the supernatural with the mortal realm. Even until this present day, we still have these demon spirits, the Nephilim roaming the earth, possessing men, women, boys, and girls, causing them to do abominable and despicable acts like rape, murder, and some unprecedented acts of terror in the earth. Just as Orpah conceived and gave birth to beings that became the enemy of God and the children of God. In our present day, we see young men take arms, attack places where God's people are gathering just to destroy and kill. Most of these participators are not real humans. They're the seeds of the fallen angels. These wicked spirits sow discord among families and communities, driving a wedge between loved ones, leading to betrayal and violence. The evil they inspire is not only seen in brutal acts. It infiltrates the minds of individuals, creating doubts and fears that plague their thoughts. Just as the ancient texts tell of the fallen angels corrupting mankind, we witness today how they whisper lies into ears, urging the faithful to lose hope and succumb to despair. Thus, we are reminded of the importance of vigilance and prayer as we navigate through a world that is heavily influenced by these dark forces. It is crucial to gather in unity and strength, to call upon divine intervention to protect us and our children from the malevolent influences that seek to destroy the very foundation of our beliefs. We must shield ourselves and one another from the inherited chaos that the Nephilim cast upon the earth, standing firm in our faith and spreading the light amidst this pervasive darkness. The battle is ongoing, but amidst the horror, there remains a call to arms, not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities and powers that stir malevolence in the hearts of humanity. If Orpah's dramatic story resonated with you, show your support by subscribing and hitting the like button, and let us know in the comments below what seemingly small choice had a major impact on your life, and your thoughts concerning this story. Subscribe to Bible Character Stories Explained for more deep dives into the hidden lives and profound lessons of Scripture. We post a new story every day. Thank you for watching.